You can get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports Rewards points simply by signing up with us at awesemo.com by clicking on the Spotlight Hitters article found right on the landing page of Major League Baseball. Free article. The link is at the top. You cannot miss it. You also can't miss in getting your $30 in YSRPs, good as cash to play on the site for this week's $400,000 NFL baller, or working with a smaller bankroll, get in for $1 on the $25K, $4K to first guaranteed. A lot to play over at Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. You'll get your $30 simply by signing up and depositing. Click on the Spotlight Hitters article, find that link, and head over there today. They are the sponsor of the Deeper Dive. And I'm Dave Lockren. That's Adam Scher, and the number one ranked DFS player in the universe. I don't know if there's a better, maybe there is a parallel universe. You ever heard of by the way, his name is Alex Paker, Awesemo. You ever heard of the multiverse theory?
Yeah, I don't know if we can claim to be number one in the universe here, man. We just don't know what kind of DFS leagues are out there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and the multiverse theory, it's an insane theory. Sorry for me being a skeptic. But basically, there's unlimited different variations. There's unlimited right now. You and me and Adam are all doing this, exact same thing, saying the exact same thing at the exact same time. Sounds like bunk to me, but who knows?
I would have liked to have listened to that show in the alternate universe where we didn't recommend Steven Matz.
All right, well, let's get started. 13 games. Adam, as I always ask, what stands out to you? You had the honors of writing the deep dive today, which can also be found at awesemo.com. It's a premium article, but well worth reading. What's your initial take on this slate? Pitching, hitting, anything specific you're doing, and anything stand out in a huge way?
It feels like the best slate we've had in a while as far as there just being a lot of options. There's no game in cores, so that doesn't really mess up the hitting. You have a bunch of really good aces at the top where, I think you'll be able to kind of play the ownership game if you want to, or there's just obviously clear-cut options up there. There's a couple of really good mid-range options, and then if you need cheap pitching, that's available too. So I think it's a pretty wide-open slate as far as you can kind of just do whatever you want with your roster construction.
All right. Let's dive into it. Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, Kyle Hendricks, Mitch Keller, Alex, there's game at PNC Park. Both of these guys, well, Hendricks on one side has been very good on the season. It doesn't mean he's a particularly good fantasy option, but he has done a phenomenal job of keeping runs from crossing the plate. And on the other side, Mitch Keller, a lot of promise, but he's really been all over the map. And I think oftentimes you will see that when it comes to rookies. So what is your take on pitching here?
I think it's not the greatest spot in the world, but you can take a couple stabs depending on the site. Kyle Hendricks he's pretty expensive, but on Yahoo at 37, that's more affordable. The matchup versus Pittsburgh is a little bit better than it has been over the recent weeks because they have more strikeout batters in their lineup. The Cubs lineup is about average strikeouts, and Mitch Keller is pretty good at them. He has 29% on the year, so I think that he could be a nice contrarian play. And you're going to have to get lucky on the run prevention, but he could definitely pay off.
Adam, what about you and your boy Mitch Keller? I know you're a fan.
Yeah, I think that it's a tough matchup for him against the Cubs, but he does have good strikeout stuff. On DraftKings, he's not super appealing to me because he's 7,100, and you do have a lot of really good pitching at the top. You also have a $4,800 pitcher in San Francisco that you can go to if you need to pay down. So I think that Keller at 7,100, he's my favorite of the pitchers between like Bumgarner and Hoffman. But on FanDuel, he's 6,100. On Yahoo, he's $26. This is a guy with a 28.5% strikeout percentage since joining the Pirates. He's one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. The matchup isn't great, but everything for him looks good. He has a 7.7 ERA, but his Sierra is 3.77. His xFIP's about 3.5. Everything points to him being a pretty good pitcher. He has the fifth best K-BB percentage on the slate. The only pitchers ahead of him are the, Cole, Scherzer, Clevenger, Flaherty group. So I think that he's just cheaper than he should be talent-wise. I think less necessary on DraftKings, but if you are paying down on FanDuel, he's where I'd want to go. And then on Yahoo at essentially the minimum price, I think he's really underpriced.
Do you have any interest in bats here? Both offenses with aggregate ownership of 2.5% for Chicago, 1.8% or 1.3% for Pittsburgh, one of the lowest owned stacks on the slate. And I think for good reason.
I think Wilson Contreras is the top projected catcher. Not that you necessarily need to go there. There are some cheap catchers, but catcher is just a really, really bad position on the slate, and Contreras is reasonably priced. So I don't mind him, but in general, not looking to pick on Kyle Hendricks, and I don't really want to pick on Mitch Keller all that much either.
Yeah. Do you have any tepid interest here, Alex?
Tepid could be a good word to describe it. I will point out that this game is a must-win for the Cubs to stay in the playoff hunt. They need to win all 4 games. Milwaukee needs to lose all 4 games. If you like narratives, that could be a reason to go to them. There are some good values. On Yahoo, Ian Happ is $7, batting 6. A guy with a lot of power. Really good price there. On DraftKings, I think that they have some good potential with the team total of 5.4, but they're fairly priced. And I was just looking at these wildcard standings. I noticed, man, life's not fair. Chicago has a 111 run differential this year, and Milwaukee, who's ahead of them, has a -2 for the whole year. You guys see that?
Yes.
That is pretty unlucky. So maybe they'll get the win here, even it out.
So anything else from this one before we talk Washington, Philadelphia in the second game of a doubleheader?
Nothing really standing out here.
All right, Alex, let me stay with you. Washington and Philadelphia already played today. Philly's playoff hopes are toast. It is officially a wrap. Nationals beat them 4-1 this afternoon. Now you've got Max Scherzer and Aaron Nola towing the rubber. So a quality pitching matchup. Aaron Nola's down to $9,500 on DraftKings. Scherzer's at $11K. And his last few starts, we've seen him throw 109, 99, and 98 pitches. 109 was his most recent, which is encouraging, although he did give up 5 runs to the Cardinals. Talk to me about the pitching matchups here for two guys that right now, ownership-wise, Scherzer coming in as your second highest owned player, and Nola all the way down there at virtually no ownership whatsoever.
Scherzer makes a lot of sense to me. It's late in the season, so the playoff standings start to be a factor. Nationals have 87 wins. The Brewers have 86. These are the wild card teams, almost certainly. And that means the Nationals have to win some games to get the home game in that wild card game, which is significant. So I expect Scherzer to be going a full workload here, and it's a fantastic matchup because the Phillies lineup today strikes out a ton. They have 2 guys that are below average strikeouts, Gene Segura and Cesar Hernandez, but all of the rest of the guys strike out at above average rates. So Scherzer is a terrific pitcher, and this is about as good as it gets for strikeouts.
Do you agree, Adam?
Yeah, I think that it's between Scherzer and Syndergaard today as the number 1 pitcher in terms of, all things considered, factoring in salary and everything. It's not a great matchup for Scherzer. Obviously, we don't have a Philadelphia lineup yet, so it could be a little bit better than normal with being the second game of a doubleheader. But he's just underpriced. He's $11K on DraftKings. He's 10.6 on FanDuel, and he's 57 on Yahoo. All those salaries are just cheaper than you normally get for Scherzer. He threw 109 pitches his last time out, so it seems like he's over the injury. He's fully back from that. Like Alex said, the Nats are still fighting for playoff positioning, so there's no reason to think that Scherzer is going to have a short leash in this game. I think that he's a great option in any format.
Talk to me about Aaron Nola.
I don't have interest. Like I saw people talking in chat earlier that he could be interesting in tournaments because of his low ownership. And, I agree that if Aaron Nola is going to be unowned. There's always it's always kind of interesting, but my issue is that there are so many good pitchers on this slate that grade out better than Nola for me from a projection and or a point per dollar standpoint, that I feel like it's just going like a little further off the path than I would want to, especially when you consider that the Nats are a good offense. There's more strikeouts than normal in their lineup tonight because you do have Matt Adams in there, you have Robles, you have Gomes, but still, when you look at who Nola's priced around, he's in the same salary range as Jack Flaherty, who I would rather get to. He's more expensive than Syndergaard. So it's just really, really difficult for me to get to Nola.
Does no interest in Nola translate to interest in any Washington hitters?
Not really. Juan Soto is really cheap. I don't think Juan Soto should really ever be $4,600, but it's still not like he's a priority.
What about you, Alex?
I think two very good pitchers. I mean, Nola is still projected pretty good in my system. This is his price that's unappealing. But this Nationals lineup, I guess we should get the lineup soon because it is the first game is over. But I don't expect it to be very good for strikeouts. Scherzer, known as an above-average batter, and so you don't get that extra pitcher spot bump. But on the other hand, Nola's strikeout percentage at the plate is 50%, so that's just an extra K for Scherzer essentially.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Unless you've got anything else, Alex. Any other bats you want to talk about from this one?
I mean, I always got bats to talk about, but no one's really jumping off the page here.
Fair enough. Adam, Toronto and Baltimore, Dylan Bundy, Thomas Pannone. I mean, he's opening. You should get Wilmer Font innings in this game. I couldn't tell you how much. I mean, my guess would be what? He throws like 50 pitches?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out now because he wasn't pitching until about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, Pannone threw 20 pitches yesterday, it looks like. So can't imagine he's going very far into this.
You would think he throws an inning.
Right. And then Font hasn't been going deep either. So, 36 pitches on the 22nd from Font. It seems like it's probably just like basically a bullpen game.
Talk to me about Dylan Bundy. Another one of your favorites. You must be excited today.
Yeah, it's a different slate. I think I'd have a lot of interest in Bundy, but I don't have a ton here. I think that the lineup the Jays are running out is favorable for him. There are 4 righties in it. He has a 28% strikeout percentage against righties, much, much higher than against lefties. There's no Bichette. There's no Gurriel. But it's still, Brevik Valera at the top isn't a great strikeout matchup. Kevin Biggio is left-handed. There's still 5 lefties total in the lineup. It's a great park for power, and we know Bundy has home run issues. And then on top of all of that, I just don't really feel like I need to take the risk on him when I can hopefully find the money for a Bumgarner or a Syndergaard for a little bit more. Or if I needed to go into that salary range, you just get better strikeout stuff from Mitch Keller anyway. And it's not like the matchup it's worse for Keller, but the ceiling is, about the same, and he has better strikeout stuff. So it's just tough for me to get the Bundy on this slate.
Are you interested in Dylan Bundy at all, Alex?
I think I am. One thing I'll note is the weather in Toronto should be favorable for pitchers. The dome is open, and it's going to be less than 70 degrees. So we're starting to see that kind of fall, decrease in temperatures. So that's nice for pitching. The lineup that the Blue Jays are rolling out is favorable for strikeouts. The only reason why I might not end up with a ton of Bundy is because he's at that kind of no man's land for salary at 7,400 on Draftkings at 33 on Yahoo, where it's tough to pair up with Scherzer, an expensive guy, and a little bit too low to pair with a cheap player. So you're really kind of stuck in the mid range if you pick him with the other guy.
What are your thoughts on bats in this game? Obviously, we've actually been targeting a decent amount of bats from this series. Haven't had a whole lot of quality pitchers on the mound. It's hard to get a true idea of what type of workload we're going to see for either of these Toronto arms. But as of now, you've got relatively high totals against Bundy. Where is it? I lost it. If you have it. Oh, okay. Yeah. 5.2 right now against Bundy. And then on the other side of this one, maybe it is higher than I thought. I just entirely lost the page, but I'll let you go ahead and take this one over. What's your thinking on bats?
I think they're really well priced. The weather isn't great, but these pitchers in the game, Bundy's a little bit worse than average. The Toronto bullpen should be pretty low on talent because they went 15 innings yesterday. So I think the pitching is one to target, and the prices on both teams are very low. Valera is super cheap leading off for the Blue Jays. He's only 2K on Fanduel and 7 on Yahoo. Not a guy with a ton of upside, but it's incredible value. But the whole team is pretty cheap across the industry as well as the Orioles, so they could be a nice value option.
Adam, are you targeting bats?
Yeah, I think that there's some pretty good spots here. Maybe not as full stacks, but Vlad Guerrero, I think, is just too cheap for the power that he offers in a good home run spot against Bundy. Same really goes for Randall Grichuk. And then on the other side, Austin Hayes, batting second, still inexpensive, facing Pannone and Font. Not like it's a bad matchup there. This park's been great for power. So Hayes really stands out from the Baltimore side for me.
Okay. Anything else from either side?
Nope. With catcher being so weak, I think Reese McGuire batting fifth is appealing.
All right. Adam, another bullpen game here. Tampa Bay and the New York Yankees. Hell, now we have CC Sabathia out of the pen with Jordan Montgomery making a start, if you want to call it a start. He was out almost all of the season. He's made one appearance thus far on the 15th of September. That's it. Going up against Yanni Chirinos starting, and then Brandon McKay. So, again, I'll ask you the most important question when it comes to this game, because nothing else is relevant if we can't try and nail this down. What do we expect for these relievers and starters?
Yeah, so obviously not interested in pitching here. No pitcher is expected to go deep into this game.
I just meant in terms of figuring the game out for bats, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just kind of an unappealing game all around because bullpen games are never really that exciting to target. Jordan Montgomery's not bad. Neither is Yanni Chirinos. CC's fine. I'm sure whoever comes in for Tampa Bay after Chirinos is fine because their bullpen's good. The game's in Tropicana Field, which is a really terrible spot or park to hit in. So I don't really have any interest in this game.
Do you have any interest in this game at all, Alex? I know you can usually find some off the radar plays.
I think that it's disappointing they made Yanni Chirinos the opener instead of full-length starter. So I'm not going there. McKay is expected to follow him up. A talented pitcher, but he's been going about 3 to 4 innings on average. So probably not someone I want to get to today. For bats, I think that Jesus Aguilar is pretty well priced. Guy with some good power, but having an off year this year as far as the home runs. He's well priced on FanDuel, 2,600, and Yahoo at 10.
Okay. I guess we can move on. That was quick. Talk to me about the Mets and the Marlins, Alex. Noah Syndergaard is right now projected to have the highest ownership on DraftKings, 41%, FanDuel, 27%, and, of course, Yahoo as well at 47%. Going up against Sandy Alcantara. This game in New York, up against the Marlins team that's been nothing short of dreadful, particularly against righties. Do you think you're going to go the way of the field here with Noah Syndergaard?
I think so. I mean, he's cheap. For so long, we've been talking about how overpriced he is for being a kind of average strikeout guy. He had been above 10K on some sites. Today is much more manageable, even though he's facing the Marlins, one of the best matchups. Today is especially favorable. I mean, they don't have any power batters in their lineup. They have Sandy Alcantara on the mound. He strikes out a very nice 69% at the dish. And, I mean, this is about as good a spot as it gets. Syndergaard's above average pitcher, so I see only green flags here.
Green flags for you too, Adam. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, Syndergaard was the cover boy for my article today, which I can almost guarantee is the first time that has ever happened. Just really, really inexpensive across the industry. There's no site where he's not really favorably priced. He has a 27% strikeout percentage against right-handed hitters this year compared to 20% against lefties. You're getting 7 righties in this lineup for Miami, including Alcantara, who, as Alex pointed out, strikes out basically every time he's at the plate. Just really, nothing concerning in this lineup. Obviously, things can go poorly. It's baseball, but that's, outside of just weird baseball things, there's no reason not to be on Syndergaard here. I know he's coming off 3 straight poor outings, but it's nothing to really be concerned about. So Syndergaard right up there as a cash game lock for me and a great tournament play too.
Okay. What about the other side with Alcantara?
Yeah, I mean, just not interested in Alcantara. He's expensive. He's not that good. Doesn't strike guys out. The Mets are a tough matchup. You got a really good value option with Robinson Cano hitting 4th. I think he's a good cash option, a good tournament option, regardless. Brandon Nimmo leading off is affordable. Jeff McNeil, I like. So the Mets, not a top stack for me, but I do think that they are pretty reasonably priced.
Yeah. What about you? Top stack, solid team, Sandy Alcantara. Which side of this do you fall on, if either, Alex?
I don't think Alcantara is he's not a terrible play on FanDuel, at least, and Yahoo, where he's 7,331. I guess this Mets lineup strikes out a ton. Syndergaard, surprisingly, given that he looks like he'd be good at every single sport he plays, he strikes out 64% at the plate. I gotta reference that because it's my signature stat. I agree with Cano being a great value. And I mean, they got some good talent on that team with McNeil, Alonso, so I can see some stacks here.
Okay. Now, well, actually, let me ask you this, Adam, before we move on. Favorite bats from the New York Mets? You mentioned not your top stack, but one of them. Who are your favorite bats here?
Cano number 1, Brandon Nimmo number 2.
Okay. Texas and Boston. Alex, Eduardo Rodriguez, and I guess I'm reading this correctly, Edinson Volquez on the mound. That's exciting. I honestly did not think that I would see him getting a start. Actually, no, he's just starting. He's not. Okay, so he's just opening this game.
Yeah, for the very exciting Ariel Jurado.
Yeah. I thought we had him as an actual starter. That's not the case. But yeah, Ariel Jurado will be coming in for him, which is equally disturbing. Talk to me about Rodriguez though against the Texas team. Well, it's in Globe Life, so that's generally a knock early on. 92 degrees at first pitch, and a Texas team that has not been particularly good against lefties, but this part kind of mitigates that for Rodriguez, and he's pretty expensive too.
Yeah, I think the conditions are pretty poor for pitching. As you mentioned, the temperature is going to be super hot, and comparing that to Miami or Toronto and some other spots that are cooler, there's no real reason to do it. Scherzer also, same price range, superior pitcher, and pretty much every way. So no reason to go to Rodriguez here.
Okay. Anything for you, Adam?
No, same thing. It's not that it's a bad matchup for Rodriguez, but you just have to have so many different things go right for him to come out as the top play. He has to overperform. Several other guys have to underperform. So not really something I'm interested in there.
Are you interested in hitters?
Yeah, absolutely. Edinson Volquez followed by Ariel Jurado in Texas on a slate that doesn't have cores is pretty exciting. I think that JD and Mookie really stand out. Rafael Devers, I think, is a really good option as well. You get a little bit of a discount too, going to Moreland batting 5th, Benintendi batting 6th. I think Boston, pretty clearly one of the top stacks on this slate.
Man, you scared Lafayette off with that analysis.
No. I had to shut my door. Are they a top stack for you too, Alex?
Yeah, I think after they got eliminated from the playoff contention, they gave some of their better guys some days off, but they're all back, so they're full strength, and they're pretty well priced on every site. Definitely top stack tonight.
Okay, who are your favorite bats here?
I agree with JD on FanDuel, Mitch Moreland. the first 5 batters on FanDuel are all going to be extremely popular. So I think I see some value in maybe punting with Marco Hernandez at the bottom of the order, or maybe going to Christian Vasquez, Jackie Bradley, or some other lower-owned guys just to get some differentiation from other people stacking them up. And on Yahoo, Andrew Benintendi is only $11, so that makes a nice cash play.
Okay. Do you have anything from Texas?
I think Scott Heineman, he's a guy that can steal some bags. He has a below average power, but still not terrible. And he's dirt cheap across all 3 sites, so I could see a one-off there. Or maybe Delano Shields leading off, hoping to catch some bags.
Adam, any hitting interest from the Rangers side?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, then we'll stay with you, Adam. Mike Clevenger, Hector Santiago. Kind of amazing how many of these pitchers, were like regular everyday starters a couple of years ago, and then you kind of forgot about them. Santiago being one of them. He's made 2 appearances all season? Yeah. He's facing the Cleveland Indians with Clevenger on the other side. Let's start with Clevenger. Of course, against the White Sox. He is very expensive, of course, but he's coming in as one of the highest owned pitching options because he's fantastic. At least one of the highest owned on Yahoo. On DraftKings, he's up there, but not nearly as high as guys like Scherzer and Syndergaard, much to do with, the exorbitant price tag. And then on FanDuel, you've got Clevenger coming in down at 14%, which again is high, but it's not close to Syndergaard or Scherzer today.
Yeah, I think a lot will come down to the final ownership projections because Clevenger's not a cash guy for me just because Scherzer is priced in the same range. On DraftKings and FanDuel, he's cheaper than Clevenger. On Yahoo, he's a little bit more expensive, but it's tough to get the Clevenger over him for more money, but that does make it appealing in tournaments because they do have the same ceiling. Clevenger has a better strikeout matchup against the White Sox. Their strikeout numbers this year are almost identical. They're within 1/10 of 1% of each other. So the ceiling is the same. And if you're going to get Clevenger at much lower ownership, it does make him appealing in tournaments as long as you're not sacrificing too much in the way of bats.
Okay. What about you, Clevenger? For you, when stacked up against guys like Syndergaard and Scherzer, Alex, where does he fall?
I think he's a tremendous player. 35% Ks on the year is amazing. And he is definitely a top option, but he's probably falling in 3rd behind Scherzer and Syndergaard. Syndergaard being number 1 based on the price. So I'm reserving him more for GPPs. But I think he could be a nice contrarian play to pivot off Scherzer. Okay.
Do you have any interest in Cleveland Bats against the left-handed Santiago?
Yeah, I think that Cleveland's pretty well priced. You got guys like Lindor, who's a great GPP player, just a lot of power and stolen bases. Yasiel Puig, for some reason, he's super cheap across the industry, especially on Yahoo at $14. And Loflo on FanDuel is like $2,700, batting 5th. So there's some great plays on each side.
Adam, what's your take on these Indian bats?
Yeah, I think really appealing spot against Santiago. He hasn't been any good, in the little bit that he has pitched this year. He hasn't really been good in a while. Lindor leading off is a good shortstop option. I think Yasiel Puig is one of the best value outfielders. Franmil Reyes bumped all the way down to 7th because Jose Ramirez is back. I think that probably makes him go a bit overlooked, but he really shouldn't. So I think that makes him a good tournament play, whether it's as a one-off or as a more contrarian piece that you can include in your Cleveland stacks.
Okay. Anything from – I mean, I'm assuming nothing for the White Sox, right? Got to ask, but imagine you're not there.
Daniel Palka is the minimum price. I don't think that you need it, but it's worth mentioning.
Okay. Alex?
Can we rewind a second? Because Steve Fulmer is the starting pitcher. Is Santiago supposed to come in relief?
What's that?
Yeah, sorry. Fulmer's listed as the opener now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, nothing really exciting. He doesn't go deep enough in games to really be a factor.
All right. Atlanta and Kansas City, Adam, Danny Duffy, Julio Teheran. Really tough spot for the left-handed Duffy. Although he had a tough matchup last time and he two-hit the Oakland A's across 7 innings, had 26 fantasy points, pretty impressive. And then Teheran on the other side is just, your run-of-the-mill righty with 5 home runs allowed over his last 2 games. I will say this much. His splits against lefties aren't as bad as they were in the past. I mean, he's not superb, but he really has not been – he has not been bad at all this year compared to what we've seen from this guy in previous seasons.
Yeah, he's been a bit better lately as well. He started throwing his sinker more, which for most pitchers is a terrible thing, but for him, it's actually good. It's not a bad matchup against Kansas City. You don't have Mondesi in the lineup, so that's one of their better hitters that's out again. And you obviously have some pretty weak hitters towards the bottom, but it's just a really awkward price point. The same thing that Alex had mentioned about Bundy applies to Teheran, where he's just not that good of a pitcher. He's not a real high upside guy, and it's not that difficult to get to other pitchers, instead of him. So I think he's in that conversation with Bundy and Keller, but I would put him third out of the group.
Where would you put him, Alex, on this slate?
We're on this Atlanta-Kansas City game.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Let's look into Santiago real quick. Teheran, not really in play for me. Average strikeout guy, but this matchup versus Kansas City isn't especially favorable for strikeouts. They're a little bit less than average. And there's not a lot of reason to be inspired by Teheran's performance this year. I mean, he has a 3.5 ERA, but his xFIP is 5.2. One of the guys that consistently seems to run good, so maybe there's something more to it. But there's a lot better options on today's slate.
Okay. Now, as far as bats go, Atlanta right now with the highest projected ownership. It makes sense to me. They've just dominated lefties. Not only that, they have so many ways to make this stack work from top to bottom. Their ownership higher than their top stack probability, though. Meanwhile, we already talked about Boston. Way less ownership for Boston than their top stack chances. So what does that do for you when you're looking at this Atlanta team tonight?
Yeah, I think the ownership's going to be high, and that might draw me to some other places, but that's not to say Atlanta isn't a terrific option today. Duffy isn't a terrible pitcher, but he's below average, and there's a lot of talent on this team, so I don't hate it.
Okay. Adam?
Yeah, I think that it makes sense that they're getting so much ownership because they're really, really cheap. I think Donaldson in particular stands out as one of the better third base options. I think in cash games, you're probably looking at him or Matt Chapman. But, with it being a 13-game slate, I don't think that you have to go to a team that's getting as much ownership as Atlanta when you can get other really good offenses at lower ownership.
Okay. So nothing really from this one?
I mean, if you're contrarian elsewhere, you can go to the Braves. I just think that they're a little bit overowned right now. Donaldson's, I think, the best play from Atlanta. I think also it's worth pointing out that Viloria is 2,200 on DraftKings, where you need a catcher. But also, normally we don't really mention fantasy draft pricing since it's more or less the same as DraftKings. But he's 3,900 on fantasy draft, so he's actually a little bit less than the 2K equivalent on DraftKings.
Okay. Well, then let's move it on then. Alex, St. Louis and Arizona, Jack Flaherty, Adam mentioned him earlier as being someone that, if he was looking at guys that weren't egregiously high-owned, Flaherty could come into play here. Right now, he's not really that popular. He's getting a little bit of ownership. It's spread out a lot outside of the top few. But on FanDuel, you're really not seeing him get anything. On DraftKings, you are. And then right around 10, 12% on DraftKings and FanDuel. I'd say DraftKings and Yahoo at a pretty reasonable price point. And he's looked really solid lately. For this game coming in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, is there merit to targeting Flaherty tonight?
I think there's merit to it. I mean, he's a terrific pitcher, strikes out 30% of guys. This matchup should be favorable for strikeouts. The only reason why I wouldn't recommend Flaherty is opportunity costs. Syndergaard is clearly in a better spot versus Miami they're just an inferior team to Arizona at this point. And then you got top-end options like Scherzer, like Clevenger. And those really eliminate most of my interest in Flaherty. He's kind of flying under the radar, maybe a sneaky play, but not really making me super excited.
Okay. Anything get you excited here, Adam, when it comes to Flaherty?
Yeah, I mean, I'd mentioned Flaherty. I wrote about him in the article, but I really don't like this Arizona lineup. I still think Flaherty's a really good pitcher, but in addition to Arizona being a tough team to strike out, you're getting a lot of lefties here. So on one hand, you are actually getting some more strikeouts in this lineup because like you have Alex Avila hitting sixth, but there's only one righty in the lineup, and Flaherty's gotten a lot better against lefties as the year's gone on. He started throwing his slider more, and since the start of July, he struck out 26% of lefties compared to the 20% through the first couple months of the season, but it's still the wrong side of his platoon split. He still strikes out like 32.5% of righties compared to that 26% of lefties. So, tournaments only. And even then, I just think that there are a lot of options that I would probably get to ahead of him.
Okay. Do you have any interest in good old Mike Leake or St. Louis Bats?
I do not have interest in Leake. Just seems completely unnecessary on this slate. I don't love the Cardinals either, but, if they're reasonably priced. So if you needed fill in at catcher with Molina or Paul Goldschmidt at first base, I think they're fine, but not my favorite.
Okay, Alex, what about you for bats here?
Well, I gotta say I like League first. I mean, that price tag of $7,200 on DraftKings. If anyone has them in their lineup, someone will be very happy about that. But the Cardinals bats are a pretty good option. They look like they are going under the radar in our ownership projections a little bit. And although I haven't had the most luck stacking them up over the year, maybe they can pull it off today. It's a team with a lot of power. They got some stolen base guys, so it's got a good mix of talent, and the price is right.
Okay. Do we need anything else here, or can we move on to San Francisco?
I'll put on Yahoo. 7 out of the 8 batters on Arizona are $7.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want to stack up Scherzer and Clevenger, I mean, maybe you could do it and just get Arizona.
Wow. Yeah. And if you want to get 50% off your first month of Awesemo Plus subscription, you can use the promo code Deeper Dive. Go to awesemo.com/join. Use that sign-up code Deeper Dive, all one word. Get 50% off your first month of our all access monthly. And it's very simple. Just use that code. Or you can check out our weekly pass, new, $3.95 a week. You can check out everything that entails and see what is included in all of our packages on that awesemo.com/join page. There's videos and basically everything you need to have a good idea of what you'd be buying before you jump in, so you're not going in head first without any idea. We want you to know what you're buying before you do, so you're comfortable doing so, but also get 50% off by using that sign-up code Deeper Dive for the ownership projections, player projections, the top stack tools for baseball and football. All of these tools developed by Alex, by Awesemo himself, used by him, and so much more. Our premium articles, the Fantasy Cruncher add-on, the lineup builder, and awesome stuff that we've got in the works for NBA season, which is rapidly approaching. So check it out, Deeper Dive, all one word, and say what's up in our premium Slack chat. When you do, introduce yourself. We are a friendly bunch, and we'll surely welcome you with open arms. All right, Alex, San Francisco, Colorado, Madison Bumgarner against the Rockies, Jeff Hoffman against the Giants. Any interest in Bumgarner?
I think so. I want to rewind just 1 second because we just got the Philadelphia lineup, and
that is pretty, a bad lineup.
This is pretty important. Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins are both out of the lineup. So if you like Scherzer before, man, you got to love him now.
No real Muto either.
Nice.
What does that do for other pitchers in this price range? I know we didn't have huge interest in Clevenger. We'll get to Gerrit Cole. A bunch of these guys. Does that just make Scherzer like far and away the top guy now for you?
I think so. It'll be kind of a debate between him and Syndergaard based on the price point, but Scherzer surely is in the best spot of the day. And this guy in this game, I mean, Bumgarner's a little bit too expensive to pair with Scherzer probably, but a great option as an individual play. Colorado is weaker versus left-handed left-handed pitchers for sure. And they are a decent matchup for strikeouts as well, about average. Bumgarner's been having a pretty good year so far, so I think he's a decent play. But I really like pairing one of these expensive guys with Jeff Hoffman on the other side. I mean, he's been giving up a ton of runs, but Colorado to San Francisco is one of the best park shifts you can have, and he's just incredibly cheap on DraftKings, so I think that's a good play.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, Bumgarner I think is okay. I still have him behind Syndergaard. So that it'll make it tough to get there just because I like Syndergaard more. But he is much better at home, as you would expect. Strikeout percentage up over 25%, and the Rockies get a huge negative park shift. Hoffman, DraftKings specific, I don't think that he's necessary on FanDuel, and I don't think he's necessary on Yahoo because Mitch Keller's $26. But there's no real good pitching down at the very bottom on DraftKings. You get a pitcher in Hoffman that has a 21% strikeout percentage going into San Francisco, has good stuff, has the pedigree, has just never really put it together in large part because he pitches in Coors Field. So I think 4,800 is a bit too cheap for him.
Okay. Are you targeting any bats from this game?
Not really. Story and Arenado are both affordable, but it's just such a terrible park for hitters. It's like 73 degrees. It's just not really that appealing.
Okay. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, same here. I think it's favorable for pitchers, and the batters aren't that cheap. So maybe a couple one-offs. I see Buster Posey is $7 on Yahoo. That could be a nice cash game catcher. But that's about it.
Okay. Well, we've got 3 to go, and then we'll, of course, turn this one over to the Live Before Lock crew. They will, as they always do, take you up till 7:05 Eastern time on today's show. You've got Josh Engelman and Chris Randone. All right, here we go. Angels, Oakland, Adam, Homer Bailey, Dylan Peters. Yeah, I tell you what, Bailey's been one of the bigger reclamation projects, the bigger success stories this season. Sure, you look at the ERA and you're like, all right, well, he's been very pedestrian. But from a fantasy standpoint, we've got some pretty monster games from Bailey this year. It's just most of the time we were getting him at a discount.
Yeah, and he's not discounted today, and there's obviously just very, very good options around him. So even though the Angels are nowhere near as good as they have been for most of the season since Trout and Ohtani are out, it's still not a pitcher I'm looking to get to.
Okay. Any interest for you in hitting, Adam?
The Athletics, yeah. Dylan Peters, just not very good pitcher, left-handed, facing a team that has tons of right-handed power, gets a favorable park shift getting out of Oakland. Matt Chapman's really cheap. I mentioned Donaldson before. I think it's between Chapman and Donaldson for the best point per dollar third base option. I think Chris Davis is still, a good value option despite his struggles. And as a full stack, they're fine too. But Chapman and Davis are the two that really stand out.
What about you, Mike? Mike, I just got somebody
cool,
just DM'd me, and his name was Mike.
I was going to ask, did you just call Alex Mike?
I absolutely.
Can you DM Mike, man? We got to get the answer to this question here.
That's so good. And you almost responded to it as well.
I was going to just go along with it. I mean, I thought maybe you're coining a new nickname for me because I've been having Mike problems here.
Super creative nickname. Go ahead, John.
I think Bailey, I saw some props on him that I think he's projected by some of the sports books to only get about 4.5 strikeouts. And I found that like a pretty interesting bet because this LA lineup, while it's typically extremely good for not striking out, I mean, they don't have Trout in the lineup. They have some of the higher strikeout guys in the rotation now. It looks like we just got the lineup, and it does have some weaker players in it. But still, Bailey's pretty expensive, so I probably won't get there except on the night slate. Peters is 4,200 on DraftKings, and he probably deserves that price tag. And I'd be pretty interested, but he just hasn't been pitching deep in games at all. The last couple games, he pitched in the 60s in pitches, so they're pulling him pretty early.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your overall idea here, Alex? If it comes down to this game, if you had no players at all from this game, would you be all right with it?
I like Oakland. I think that they're one of the top stacks of the night. I mean, they got one of the highest team totals at 6.1. They got some fantastic value and guys like Chapman, who's only 14 on Yahoo and similarly priced on Draftkings. Chris Davis. I mean, he's good for a home run every week or two. I'll take a chance that it would be tonight. But just super slumping this season, and the price reflects that. And the bottom of the order is dirt cheap across the industry. So I think you can make some really nice stacks with this team.
Yeah, Adam, anytime Oakland's facing a lefty, they have to be considered, right?
Yeah, no question. Right there with Alex. I think, that Chapman and Davis are great values.
Okay. Let's talk about San Diego and the Dodgers. Adam, Rich Hill opening. Ronald Bolaños should be your long guy for San Diego. I don't know who and Stripling, of course, for the Dodgers. I'm sorry. So many damn relievers, long relievers. I keep getting mixed up. No long guy for San Diego, just for the Dodgers. Ross Stripling. Do you have any interest in pitching here? My assumption would be a definitive no.
Definitive no.
Okay. What about bats?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers are appealing. Bolaños isn't anything special. So far, not much of a sample size in the major leagues, but has really had trouble getting lefties out. 12% strikeout percentage, 433 WOBA, 357 ISO, and now has to probably deal with, Peterson, Muncy, Bellinger, Seager, Lux. It's a pretty scary spot for him. I think that Lux maybe goes a little bit overlooked as a value because he probably will be hitting toward the bottom of the order, but that's a guy that you can use in tournaments to differentiate. I think that Peterson's a really good value option, assuming he's leading off. Bellinger, of course, is a great hitter, so he's a good play too.
Okay. Yeah. Alex, what are your thoughts on the bats from this one?
I like it. The park certainly isn't favorable in San Diego, but that's about the only factor that's negative. Bolaños, definitely not up to snuff in the MLB up to this point. And they got a lot of talented players on the Dodgers, so I like it a lot. It looks like the only two guys that are going to have ownership tonight are Peterson and Muncy. So I think you can make some really nice stacks of low-owned players from a talented team.
Okay. Well, let's get to the last game then. Only one to go. Houston and Seattle. Alex, Gerrit Cole, another game with a long guy and an opener. Justin Dunn opening. Tommy Milone as your long reliever. I mean, that's 1, 2. I won't even go through all of them because there's so many. But it's insane how many of these we're getting. Adam and I talked about it yesterday on the show that with the direction we're taking next year, you're going to have teams where they're running bullpen games out 3 days a week, and it's going to get out of control. I know it's late in the year, but we've seen this more and more. There are six different teams doing the bullpen game today, and our final one has it as well. But let's first start with Gerrit Cole, your most expensive pitcher on the slate, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best pitcher in the major leagues this year, in my opinion. Just lighting up every single metric. Less than 1 walk plus hit per inning, 39% Ks, 2.5 xFIP. I see that he's second in the Cy Young behind his teammate Verlander, according to ESPN. And that's kind of surprising because I think he's the superior guy. But, I mean, he's just the highest price that any pitcher has ever been this whole season on all 3 sites. And with guys like Scherzer or like Clevenger, there's just no reason to really indulge and get Cole here.
Adam, are you on the same boat?
Yeah, it would be different for me if we weren't projecting him for a lot of ownership. But since everyone does know how good he is, and he is I have him projected as the top scoring pitcher. He's getting enough ownership here. We have him at 23%, where I just think the salary combined with the opportunity cost makes it really, really difficult. He obviously he can break a slate. He's the best strikeout pitcher in baseball. But you have Scherzer, you have Syndergaard, you have Clevenger, you have all these guys at substantial discounts, and in some cases, at lower ownership. So unless his ownership really, really drops between now and lock, I don't think he'll be a big priority for me.
Okay. What are you doing with hitters, Adam?
Nothing from the Seattle side, but from the Houston side, I think that they're an appealing stack. I would expect them to be pretty low owned because unlike a lot of the teams with high implied run totals today, the Astros are actually expensive. You have a $5,600 Alvarez, a $5,100 Bregman, $5,500 for Springer. Not a great hitter's park either. It's only 60 degrees. So I think that it'll be tough for people to get there, but they're just a good enough team where I'm still interested in tournaments.
All right, Alex, close us out with some bats from this game. Anything interest you against Tommy Milone?
For sure, yeah. I think that this is a really appealing spot for Houston for the reasons Adam mentioned. It's a pay up to be contrarian spot. And this is the team with the second highest team total on the slate. So if this is going under the radar at all, that's tremendously valuable. Individual bats, Jose Altuve at 4,700 on DraftKings. Michael Brantley at $9 on Yahoo. Those are great values. For the most part, these guys are fairly priced, and the way you're going to get to them is maybe you don't go for Scherzer, you go for Syndergaard instead. You go for Freeman or Hoffman. Always get those guys confused. Go mid-range and cheap at your pitchers. Stack up the Astros here, and I think you have a pretty nice lineup.
All right. Who are your top stacks for this slate then, Adam?
Boston, Houston, Oakland.
Okay. What about you, Alex?
Same guys. I think that the top end options are pretty clear today, and it seems like you can make some contrarian rosters around them. So I'm not going to be too fancy.
So who are your give me an anti-optimizer stack just because. Give me an AOS.
I think Houston is the anti-optimizer stack. Let me see how often they came up in my crunch. They they were about the 10th highest team in my crunch when I didn't take into account ownership. So I think that a lot of the people who are MME tonight might not have enough Houston.
Okay. So Adam, let me ask you this. You're making a lineup for the single entry tournament, right? Whatever one you want, maybe the $12. And you're trying to make it unique enough, but also not outrageous. Who are you starting with at pitcher, and what does the lineup look like? Not, of course, every player, but what are your thoughts on a single entry? Not everyone's, max entering today. So try and change it up a little bit.
Yeah. So, I'd be perfectly fine just going Syndergaard, Scherzer, as long as I'm able to get off the board a little bit with the Red Sox or something like that. You want to be cognizant of that though, because especially in single entry, you're going to see the Syndergaard plus Scherzer pairing become even more popular. So if you're not able to get, a contrarian Boston stack or find ways to be contrarian with your hitters, then I think, consider going maybe Clevenger over Scherzer. But I think that I'd be able to find enough contrarian bats on this slate that I'd be okay with Scherzer plus Scherzer plus Syndergaard.
Same question to you, Alex. You're starting a single entry lineup out. What are you building around?
So the guy I start off my lineup with is Jeff Hoffman. I'm not even joking, man.
Hold on. I listen. I respect whatever you're doing, but you're saying you're starting it with Hoffman?
Yeah, I think there's a big advantage to going with the cheap guy to start off your lineup because.
Well, forgive me for laughing then.
Well, the extra salary gives you the flexibility to be contrarian with your bats, which is really what I'm going for here. So let's start off with Hoffman. I think he's really underpriced on DraftKings. On Fanduel and Yahoo. Fanduel will probably go to Syndergaard first. On Yahoo, I think Adam pointed out Mitch Keller is super cheap. So I think those are good options. But I'd start off with Hoffman on DraftKings, maybe Syndergaard or Scherzer, depending on what stack I want. Probably go to Boston or Houston. No need to shy away from these top projected teams tonight because they might not be the most popular according to the ownership projections. And I'd fill it out with some guys that fit the salary there.
By the way, this is why you win the single entries and I don't, because you play Hoffman and I laugh at it, and then he ends up crushing. All right, what about this? We got just a minute or two here. Adam, any final thoughts on ownership or stacks? Anything stand out to you? I don't want to give everything away. Of course, you can use Deeper Dive as the sign-up code to get access to all of this. But is there anyone specifically from an ownership standpoint in terms of top stacks or ownership, individual player ownership that stands out either as way too owned or not owned enough?
So first, I wanted to backtrack a little bit on my single entry because for some reason I was thinking I had more money left over with Scherzer Syndergaard than you do. It only leaves you with 37.50. So yeah, I agree with the Hoffman take. But as far as ownership, Clevenger's ownership right now on DraftKings is standing out to me. You know, again, like I love Scherzer, I love Syndergaard, but Clevenger has just as high a ceiling as those guys, and we only have him at 17% ownership, which is even lower than Cole, who's $1,200 more. So that's really standing out to me on DraftKings right now. From a top stack perspective, I think that the Red Sox ownership relative to their top stack percentage is really appealing.
Okay. Anything else before we head out, Alex? And I should let everyone know, if you enjoy the show, you want to help support us at awesomeo.com and help support our channel so we can keep doing free content like this, hit us with a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you always know when new content's dropping next. We appreciate it. And I've heard it brings very good karma to all of those who do. Close us out, Alex.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully the strategy we're developing here is a winning one tonight. So we can all posting some screenshots on Twitter later with the screenshot life. I think that tonight you don't have to be too fancy because the best plays may not be the highest owned. So that will be my approach tonight. Go for these top projected play bats that may be a little bit more contrary than normal. There's some superb options at pitcher. There's no need to get too fancy. And if you're MME, you can start going to some sneakier teams like Cardinals, Cubs, some of the ones that aren't at the top of everyone's list, and find some good spots that might go under the radar.
All right. That's a wrap. Josh Engelman, Chris Randone taking you up to 7:05 on Live Before Lock. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the Deeper Dive presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports.
We are live. What's up, everybody? Live before lock, kicking it off Tuesday, September 24th. Myself, Chris Randone. Didn't have you last Tuesday, but welcome back.
Thanks, man. Had to close out the season strong, man. It's our last one together.
I'm excited. Look, pitching's great today. And it got even better when they dropped a couple of these lineups. So I'm intrigued. Hitting is a question mark at best. I can't begin to figure out what some of these teams are going to do once the fifth inning hits, but I don't know. Let's try to figure it out. Liam Father says, how long until live before lock? You're about to find out that it's immediate, sir. You're figuring it out right now.
It's here.
It is here. It is very much here. Let's get the plugs out of the way. Live before lock is the promo code. 50% off your first month of Awesemo Plus. If you want to check out everything that we have to offer, MLB, NFL, NBA coming soon, NHL coming soon, golf, soccer, NASCAR, I'm probably repeating myself, college football, sports betting, it's all here. Use the promo code live before lock. One big word. When signing up, get 50% off. And shout out to Fantasydraft, the presenting sponsor of this show. Fantasydraft is running, I want to get the total right, the $700K Hooters main event this Sunday for the NFL. $100K to first, $28 entry fee. This is the only site where you're going to find no rake whatsoever across the board. Every dollar that they take in for that contest goes right back out to the players. If you want to get a 7-day free trial, up to $1,000 in entry fees, you can use the promo code AWESEMO when signing up. So go to fantasydraft.com, use the promo code AWESEMO, $1,000 in rake-free entries, completely free. They're running some of the best contests in the industry right now for the NFL season. I highly recommend you go check them out. I know that I will be playing quite a bit into that Hooters main event. Got to try and get that money. And that's where I'll be doing it. That's where I will have the primary amount of my action this NFL Sunday. But it's not NFL Sunday. It is MLB Tuesday. And we've got a hell of a slate. Gerrit Cole, Mike Clevenger, Max Scherzer, Jack Flaherty, Syndergaard, Bumgarner. Lots of pitching at the top. We'll start at the top. The 10K guys. Who stands out most to you?
Man, did you see this lineup that Philly rolled out?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you say no to this?
It's really hard, right? It's it's bad. They took out everybody that has a pulse.
Yeah, the lineup is so weak that it's probably gonna be a field day for Scherzer. So he's just gonna have fun with it. So I'm glad that they're in playoff contention right now because they have to take this game seriously. Unlike the Phillies, that's definitely not the case with this lineup.
No, not so much. No Harper, no Rhys Hoskins, no Real Muto, no Chance.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the ownership as the show goes on. How much of an increase Scherzer gets and how much maybe of a little downgrade Syndergaard gets. So I'm interested to see that because that kind of might change a little bit. But yeah, Scherzer all day. How could you not go to him and then pay up even another 20-something hundred for Cole? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I like Cole quite a bit, but this has changed the game a little bit now. Philly just basically punted the second half of a doubleheader.
Yeah,
you don't see that all that often.
Yeah, they're in chill mode. They're ready to they're ready for this weekend to come to an end, hit up Disney World with the family.
Their implied total has dropped to 3.1 runs since that announcement. The game total dropped a half run. They became bigger underdogs. I think that Scherzer and Cole are comparable today. It just so happens that Max Scherzer is $2,000 less. Really hard to overcome that. I think that Scherzer's ownership is going to skyrocket. Well, maybe not skyrocket because it's already quite high, but I think we're going to see that go up a little bit, and we're going to see Cole's come down or Clevenger's come down. What do you think of Clevenger?
Yeah, I like Clevenger. Don't get me wrong. It's a great match. A lot of these guys are just in great matchups.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild to see kind of the amount of great matchups all these top pitchers have, and how many. This might be the slate of the entire year where I've seen the most lowest run implied totals.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Phillies 3.1, Mariners 2.9. Now, these are just my numbers. Alex might have something slightly different. 3 for the Marlins, 3.4 for the White Sox. Eek.
Yeah, 3.6 for the Pirates.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of 3.6 for the Rockies. I mean, a lot of the 3.8 for the Angels, 3.7 for the Pods. So, I mean, could you go wrong in a lot of matchups where, I mean, the pitchers seem heavily favored in a lot of these matchups. So, you can't really go wrong today with pitching. I think the big question mark is where the hell do we go with the bats?
That's a fantastic question. I have no idea. I mean, I know where I want to go. I don't trust a single team any longer in terms of trying to figure out if these guys are going to make it. Like, if I'm going to get the full allotment of plate appearances, it feels like such a crapshoot that I feel more comfortable just concentrating my pitcher exposure and really casting a bit more of a wide net in hitting, even more so than I normally do. We'll see how much I can do that. I'm only playing light today on FanDuel in particular. I'm just having a little bit of trouble getting myself excited to jam into contests this final week, but I'm playing a little bit. I couldn't play the 5-gamer yesterday. That was too little for me. But 13 games today, I'm in.
I love the 5-gamer, man. That was, oh my God, it was a great slate. A couple bad things at the end to take me out of first, but it's okay.
That's never good.
No. But there's some teams that have stuff to play for tonight. So I'm kind of banking on the teams that need to actually play an entire game. And I think this might be the last game for the Braves to do that because I think they're just trying to solidify that if they make it to the the NLCS and the Dodgers don't, then they get the home field advantage. I think one more win kind of solidifies that. So, but I mean, outside of them, I mean, Tampa's in play, Cleveland's in play, even I guess Chicago. I mean, they're on the brink of being eliminated though. But I mean, there's some teams that have high run implied totals that you can at least trust they'll get their allocation of plate appearances.
Yeah, I'm sure the way baseball's going, the Phillies will be the highest scoring team, then the Mariners and the Marlins, and just we'll flip it all on its head. We had somebody yesterday ask if it was smart to have just one Marlins lineup out of 150, and Jake and I were like, I don't think it's really worth it. They don't project that well. And sure enough, dong, grand slam.
It was just Alfaro, though. I mean, the rest, I mean, I saw Alfaro as one-offs last night, and it just blew my mind because I would love to just think what people were thinking to just like, yeah, I'm gonna use Alfaro as a one-off in a lot of different situations. That was very interesting.
I could not believe once that grand slam came in, I was like, whew, looking dumb on that call.
Marlins were the play.
They always are when I say that they're not, that's for sure. Chalkiest pitcher in our ownership right now. Let me make sure that we didn't get an update since then, or I'm just going to sound silly. We have not. Madison, nope. Noah Syndergaard, we're getting to Bumgarner. Noah Syndergaard, 41% owned, 9K on DraftKings. He's 8,600. Nope. He's 8,200. I keep looking at Bumgarner's name before I look at Syndergaard's every time. They're flip-flopped in salary on FanDuel and DK, which is really confusing when hopping between tabs. Let's just say this. How do you feel about Noah Syndergaard today? Speaking of the Marlins.
I love him. I mean, the Marlins struggle more against right-handers than they do lefties as of late. And I mean, Syndergaard is not your premier strikeout pitcher. However, though, I mean, this is a great matchup for him. Marlins lineup, nothing to be really scared of. And I think it's just the price. I mean, 8,200 on FanDuel. I mean, the point per dollar is just great. So I think that's why you see so much ownership going to him because, I mean, not only can he have value, but, I mean, he has such a great matchup at home. So it's really hard to look past him in this situation. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm over the field on Syndergaard. I would have to check. I'm only rolling with 2 pitchers and a couple of one more pitcher. So tonight's my night of just Scherzer, Syndergaard.
Are you talking FanDuel?
FanDuel specifically, yeah. Okay. And then on DraftKings, I'm rolling with the 1-2 punch of powerful pitchers. I'm not rolling with any cheap guys.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah. Switching it up.
I'm with you on Syndergaard though. He has the best point per dollar projection for me by a mile on FanDuel. impossible to ignore him at 8,200. On DK at 9K, I feel pretty much the same way. He's my best point per dollar pitcher again. He's just hard to ignore. Although, if that 40% holds, I think it's easy to be different in a GPP. But in cash games, I mean, Noah Syndergaard should be the guy. Flex in YouTube chat. Yes, I did miss the Adam Eaton dong yesterday after saying that I really liked Adam Eaton and I get him all the time, and then I didn't take him, and then sure enough he donged within the first 15 minutes of getting off of the show. Never fails.
He had a game, man. I had I think it was Lourdes Gurriel who was, I guess he was scratched like right before game time, and I needed to pivot, and I pivoted like 75 Gurriel to Eaton, and I had the salary. It was like an extra $100 or something, and that paid off huge.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. That was a last minute. Just randomly went to Eaton, no rhyme or reason.
You must have been listening to my hot take of liking Adam Eaton, I guess. We'll just go with that.
No, there's a little influence there.
Perfect. What do you think of Madison Bumgarner today? 8,200 on DraftKings, a little bit more expensive FanDuel, 8,600, but in a really great spot. Gets to deal with the Rockies outside of Coors, where they are essentially awful always.
Yeah, Bumgarner's my other guy that I like on DraftKings specifically. If I'm gonna go away from Syndergaard, Colorado, I think the last 2.5 months, highest strikeout rate team against lefties on the road. I think it's 26.8%. Great matchup, great ballpark for Bumgarner. It's like you said, they struggle heavily on the road compared to at home at Coors. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with Bumgarner.
Yeah, normally I've been like less enthusiastic about getting him, but this is just a completely different spot to get the Rockies outside of Coors. I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised that the Rockies implied total is even 3.7. I would have expected something a little bit lower than that, but it feels safe again. It's so hard to put up a ton of runs in Oracle Park. You said you weren't
I do like the bats though for the Giants, and I guess we'll talk about that later.
Ooh, I am very intrigued by that. Yeah, we will. I'll put a pin in that one. We'll get back to that. You mentioned that you weren't going to any of the cheap guys, so no Dylan Bundy, I'm guessing. No Jeff Hoffman, no Brendan McKay, no Dylan Peters. None of these guys for you?
So I'm not so heavy on DraftKings tonight, volume-wise. When it comes to entries, my main focus right now is on FanDuel tonight. So Bundy is interesting, and I can see it. The lineup, too, I think it was 5 righties last time I checked, Toronto. I just want to make sure I'm right.
1, 2, 3. They have 4.
Four righties, yeah. So, he's had good outings against them. However, though, it is Dylan Bundy. He does, give up pops. So, but I mean, outside of that, I don't mind it. Not on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I can see it if you're looking to pay down. But as far as any other cheap guy, anyone I was looking at, I heard the guys talking on the deeper dive about Trevor Hoffman or Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Hoffman's starting.
Yeah, he's
a little old.
But Jeff Hoffman, I mean, I get it because he's 4,800. However, though, definitely not trusting this, especially against a lot of Giants bats that I like tonight, specifically because of price on DraftKings. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, though, there's really nothing that I like.
I get it. It's kind of gross at the bottom. You don't love getting to somebody like ignoring thoughts on the Giants, just knowing that you can get Hoffman in a park that isn't Coors. It's essentially the opposite of Coors. Becomes intriguing a little bit, and then you realize like, oh yeah, he's still Jeff Hoffman and he's still not good more often than not. It's scary. If you really want to stay up at that top end of pitching, you need to find some value in the bats. Now, the good news is there's a lot of value to be found in hitting, especially during this last week of the regular season. You're seeing expanded rosters. You're seeing more guys get into the lineups with lower prices. So it becomes a little easier to fit these guys in. If I were playing on DraftKings, I think that I would have a lot of Jeff Hoffman, which is terrifying. So I'm happy that I'm FanDuel only today so I can save myself the embarrassment.
Jeff Hoffman, 455 WOBA on the road against righties, has already given up 5 bombs. given it's only a 12-inning sample size. But I mean, he's given up 16 hits in those innings. And I mean, even at home, he struggles against righties as well. So I definitely like the power in Pilar, Longoria. I mean, even give me a Yastrzemski from the left-hand side. I don't mind him. But I mean, there are some bats in that Giants lineup that do have pop, and the wind's blowing out heavily tonight, straight to dead center. So weather conditions show that it is great hitting conditions tonight.
Are there any pitchers that that I haven't touched on for you that you would like to mention? Anybody stand out to you that we haven't talked about?
The Dodgers, Rich Hill, interesting, but he's just not lasting long. So it's really hard to gauge what he's going to do. I always get my nice little insight from the Dodgers. So I think he's going to pitch 2 innings tonight. Maybe 1. They don't know, but I think the only max he's going to do is 2 innings. Okay. So his price point at 9,200, it wouldn't justify anything. It just wouldn't make sense.
Agreed. I have him in for 2 right now, so that makes me feel pretty good. We just have all of these long relievers coming in, or the non-starter guys, the bulk guys. Lofty was talking about how many there are, but we're talking the Dodgers game with Rich Hill, Jordan Montgomery, Tommy Malone, McKay, Tom Pannone, Dylan Peters, Urado. It's just a sea of these dudes.
Watch out for Mike Leake. That might be an interesting tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I mean, I don't want to say recency bias, but I mean, he did pitch, 8 shutout innings, I believe, earlier in the year, 7 Ks against St. Louis. So, anytime I see a pitcher that's cheaply priced and he fared well against an opposing team earlier in the year, or maybe there's something there that we're not really looking at. I mean, obviously that doesn't really hold much weight, but it could be interesting.
I don't hate it. He'll get 5 righties plus Flaherty, so he'll see 6 righties. He should go deep into the game. A 4.9 run implied total for the Cardinals isn't unmanageable. He's probably getting slept on a little bit. I like him a lot on Yahoo. He's only $30 there. I think that's a really nice price tag for him.
Oh yeah, Yahoo for $30, I think is more than fair.
The only problem with him being at 30 is that Mitch Keller is at 26. I think Keller has a little bit more strikeout upside, but you might not even need to go all the way down to those guys, considering, Syndergaard is 44, Bumgarner is 43, even Dylan Bundy at 33, I think is kind of reasonable.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Normally, we're going to wait until after 6:30 to get into bats, but I think the end of the regular season just says open it up wide. So let's start talking hitting. You mentioned the Giants before. Go for it, man. What are you seeing for San Francisco? And is it just a Jeff Hoffman ownership thing, or do you just like the Giants?
Well, clearly, I mean, it's a Hoffman ownership thing, but it's what he's done so far that he struggled. I mean, there's really nothing there that allows me to believe that this is in favor of him tonight. I mean, you could say that the Giants have had a low ISO the last 2 months against righties at home, but I mean, outside of that, we're looking at a pitcher here that so far, he's given up an average of a 454 WOBA on the year to right-handed hitters. And then, I mean, even on the left side, 343 WOBA. So he's given up 18 bombs and just a little over 50 innings. So, I mean, this guy gives up a lot of power. Yeah. And, I mean, not to say that the Giants are a team that present a lot of power. However, though, if you're looking to pay up in pitching, and I would say that this is for DraftKings specifically, I mean, if you look at their lineup, I mean, they're all there, 4K and under. So what I did was I was able to put Syndergaard and Scherzer together, and I would still have a lineup of 5 stacked Giants, and then still have a good couple one-offs as far as some hitters with bats. So, yeah, I mean, I like Dickerson, love Yastrzemski, and then I really think Pilar and Longoria and Belt are in great positions here.
You know what? Their pricing is a lot better than I was originally looking at. Posey for 3,300 to fill a catcher spot like that against a guy that has the homer problems like Hoffman, I think looks pretty good. Belt for 3,900. I mean, honestly, only Yastrzemski at 45 is like costly, and he's got enough pop that you're not worried about it. He gets the righty-lefty matchup even better. And you're getting a leadoff hitter. I rarely care too much about a leadoff hitter just because he's going to see the most plate appearances on the team no matter what. Can't beat that. And he's unowned. This Giant stack is essentially unowned. I think it does look pretty decent as a hedge value stack too.
Yeah.
Even if you just want to piece them in with somebody else, they're cheap enough that you can easily grab 3 good pieces. And you can get a catcher, a first baseman, a third baseman if you want to load up on like outfielders from a different spot just because of Posey, Belt, and Longoria.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, like I was looking up and the weather tonight, it's actually going to be almost 80 and it's going to be blowing out 11 degrees straight dead center. And so based on like the current conditions, like there should be a 20% increase in runs tonight in this ballpark.
Okay.
So it's interesting, from the weather standpoint of view, the numbers, what they say that the bats should be taken in consideration.
I'm intrigued now. You've got me looking at Brandon Belt. You've got me looking at Brandon Belt now.
It's Jeff Hoffman. We're acting as if like we should be hesitant here. But if we want, especially if you're looking to fit Scherzer or maybe Cole, and especially on FanDuel, I found some great stacks with like the Braves, with the Red Sox. A lot of these top stacks that are projected to be top stacks fitting in nicely with San Fran and still have the ability to roster a premier pitcher in good matchup. I like it.
Yeah, I think like that circles back to what I was saying earlier. I think there's a lot more value bat out there to give you more high-end pitching. And that can keep you away from guys like Jeff Hoffman. And if it means, I think I would rather have Giants bats than Jeff Hoffman now. Now that you say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I thought my camera must have been so zoomed in my face, and I apologize for that because I'm on my laptop. But there's people saying that I'm drunk in the chat. I have no idea, but I am not drunk. I'm just preaching legit statistics that I have.
You are getting it here. You are getting it. It's going to be great when the Giants go off.
I got my money invested in them, so
right.
I'm not gonna say choose a team that I'm not putting my money in. I have money heavily invested in the Giants tonight, and I'm not scared to say it.
There you go. Okay, so we do like the pricing on the Giants. If you're are you paying up for any bats in terms of Astros, Indians, Red Sox, some of the more expensive teams?
Yeah, when it comes to the matchups tonight, I think the Red Sox, the Indians, the Braves, and I really like the Oakland Athletics, man. I'm waiting for this lineup to come out.
You and me both.
God, it's like, come on, man. This has a lot to do with my lineups tonight, and I'm still waiting for it. But I feel like these top teams that are projected to be top stacks, they're all in great spots. Facing pitchers that are home run prone and give up pops. So yeah, I'm paying up. I think the team I'm paying up for the most, I think, is the Indians and the Red Sox, I believe.
Yeah, the Red Sox in particular, in Texas against just garbage pitching, the whole lineup is loaded at the top. You can get the guys at the bottom at an ownership discount. Like all of the ownership is at least on FanDuel, all of the ownership is coming into the first 5. On DraftKings, it's not even that concentrated.
Yeah.
If you just want to make a 4-man and include Marco Hernandez or Jackie Bradley, like you're going to get a unique FanDuel construction. So I can't avoid the Red Sox at all. I feel the same way about the Indians. They're hitting in an advantageous environment in Chicago. Jose Ramirez back in the lineup. Hector Santiago, not very good. Pricing is fantastic. I think the Indians and the Red Sox are probably my 2 favorite teams. Not that I'm saying something that people don't already know. I'm not going out on a limb here.
So do we know if Volquez is going to get subbed after an inning or 2?
Yeah, he's only going to go an inning, at best 2, but most likely 1.
Okay, and so is it true that Gerardo is going to come in after him?
Yes.
Yeah, this is something where I like that even more. Volquez in the short relief that he's been doing, he has been getting rocked in his 1 innings that he's pitching. I don't think he's pitched one nice inning yet since he's, been back. But then you got Gerardo, and I mean, this guy right here at home against righties, 437 WOBA, and I think he's given up 6 or 7 bombs. And then, it's a guy that's just struggled against right-handed bats. So, and we all know that there's a lot of right-handed bats in this Red Sox lineup that have power. So, and I like the Jackie Bradley call too. I think, it's a lefty late in the lineup, it's got power. So, you can go anywhere you want really with this Red Sox lineup.
YouTube chat coming around now. You have talked a lot of people into looking into the Giants today.
I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. I mean, right now there's a 20% chance of increased runs with tonight's weather conditions. And someone said that it's really cold. It's really hot here on the West Coast today. If you guys don't know, I don't know what the weather is right now. I guess we can check. But, last time I checked, right now it's 85 degrees in San Fran. It's 87 degrees right now in San Francisco.
That's a warm one.
It's very warm. Wind's blowing out, And I mean, here's the thing, though, is there's power in that Giants lineup. So they're cheap. Give me another lineup that's cheap and has as much power as the Giants do if you want to compare across the board. There's not that much. I think the Cubs are interesting in some aspects. I think Hayward, Hap, Zorbris is batting in the 3-hole for 3,700. So I think they're interesting as well against Mitch Keller. That's more, I think, of a contrarian approach. But listen, I feel strong about the Giants tonight. So if they win, I'm posting my screenshots, hands down.
Love it. I love it. And we have come to the time I wish that I still had a chance, but I don't think that I do. It's time for Dong Picks. Here are the current standings. EMAC, after getting G-Man Choi yesterday, is now up 33-32 on Jake. He's made 2 more correct picks as well. I've got 29 dongs. Bags has 24. You've got 11. I am still number 1 in the clubhouse in pick rate, which is all that matters to me. No one catching me there. You heard that right, Jake and EMAC. You can battle for total dongs all you want. Doesn't matter to me whatsoever. Actually, I'm really sad that I'm not going to have the most total dongs. But anyway, I digress. Time to make dong picks. We have 4 remaining, including this one. So today, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we're done. That is the end of the dong picks. So if anybody's going to catch EMAC, now's the time. We're going to need a triple dong. The floor is yours, sir. Who would you like as your dong pick today?
What's the pick rate like right now? I mean, how are we looking?
Percentage of picks. I'm in first. EMAC in second. Jake in third. Bags has you right now by a hair, but a correct pick today, you will pass him.
Ooh, I like that. All right, I'm gonna kick it off to you first. You're the host. I kind of want to see where your brain's at.
Shit, I'm not ready. Let me take a peek here. Gonna be hard to not do that. Where's that? I'm gonna have to do that, huh? I will take Rafael Devers.
I like that.
Have to go there into Texas. Give me some Devers.
I like that.
Let me see if I've taken him ever. I don't feel like Devers is a guy that I've had more than once, if at all. I have not taken him yet this year. So now is the time for a Devers triple dong game.
Oof. Man.
Who you got?
I think I'm going to go with Evan Longoria. We're going to keep it in San Francisco.
I love it. That one's going to feel good when it happens.
Yeah, so then I could just troll,
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's the best part of it all. I thought you were going to go Belt, but I like the Longoria call. EMAC is in the car. He went with Paul Goldschmidt.
All right.
Goldschmidt is in. 2 more to go, waiting on Spags and Jake.
Oakland lineup is out.
Nice.
So, my boy's in there. That's what I'm talking about.
Get the A's lineup, and we can wait Let's see if Jake and Spags can get a pick in here. Now we just need that. We still need that Houston lineup because those righties for the Astros up against whatever goons the Mariners are running out. I'm in for that as well.
You know, Martin Maldonado kept coming up in my crunches, man. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, got a little shares of Martin Maldonado if he's in the lineup tonight, so I'm waiting on that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some exposure to these Astros, that's for sure. Still no picks from these goons.
Hey, the chat is just trolling today, man. I don't know if you're reading this.
I love it. I love it.
This guy goes, if the San Francisco Giants suck, Randone will just disappear and do another reality show until we forget about it. That was wild.
YouTube chat's really aggressive now. The NFL season brings out even more people in the DFS universe, and NFL DFS people are the craziest of all the crazies. So yeah. we're getting a lot now. It's a good time to be in the DFS sphere because everybody comes out for this. We're getting the NFL crossover. Still no Spags. Still no Jake. Jake is active on Slack. I don't know if he is slacking on his pick.
He's you know what he's doing? He's researching right now the Giants. He's wondering if it's a good spot.
I don't blame him. All right, let's see if we've gotten an ownership update. We did. 3 minutes ago, we got an ownership update. So let me grab that and we'll take a peek, see where all the new numbers are now that we have updated information on the Scherzer lineup and the rest of these guys. Syndergaard came down quite a bit.
I knew that was going to happen.
Paste. One more to go. All right, let's hop over here and look at the DraftKings ownership. So, Syndergaard down to 34. Second in ownership now, Max Scherzer at 24. Bumgarner 23. Clevenger 17. Gerrit Cole 16. Hoffman 15. And in the biggest change, Brendan McKay up to 12 now.
That's interesting. He's horrible at home. I don't know why people are wanting to roster him.
McKay?
Yeah. Have you seen his reverse splits? I
like him here in a way, but it's a terrifying spot. Terrifying.
Against the Yankees?
Terrifying.
So away, or at home against lefties, he's great, right? But against righties, which, as we know, there's a lot of powerful righties in this lineup. I mean, 394 WOBA, 6 bombs, 12 earned runs, over 200 ISO. I mean, yeah. I mean, and you're going to throw him in there against the Yanks. I mean, how many lefties in the Yanks lineup today? Just 1 or 2? There's 2.
I think it's 2.
Oh my God. You know what's crazy? I don't have any Yankees tonight. And that's actually, now talking about this, kind of scares me.
Gotta get yourself a Yankee stack. You're anti-McKay. Gotta be there.
Man, I'm with my Giants, man. I can't leave them now.
I need to throw my projections in here and get some dummy crunches done. I don't know if we're going to get this Astros lineup, and that's really not going to be all that fun.
Someone said Josh was spot on about Lamar Jackson, and he got a lot of hate for it.
I did get a lot of hate. YouTube chat was not happy with me on Sunday.
What did they say?
Oh, I said that Lamar Jackson was the worst passing quarterback on the slate and that he's a terrible passer. And everybody was like, but he's good now because he beat the Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
And he had an absolutely terrible passing game. That doesn't mean I don't like him. That doesn't mean I don't think he can't be good. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a good DFS option. He's just not a good passing quarterback. That's not even a hot take.
Damn, he's not worse than Falk, though, that threw for the Jets. Come on.
I mean, yes.
What? Oh, my God.
Is he not? Why isn't he?
I mean, he's just a way more talented quarterback. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the talent, it will overcome anything, even if he doesn't have the proper throwing mechanics. So, but it's tough, though, man.
Agreed.
He went into Arrowhead. I mean, it's a hostile environment. They had a game plan for him. And, yeah, I mean, they did shut him down to a certain extent. But I still think that he's still young, man. I mean, the guy's got some time.
completely agree in all of that. But right now, it's just, he's not a good throwing quarterback. If he was, he would have had a different pedigree coming out. Like, Luke Falk has gotten there because the only thing, like, throwing had to be his thing. Lamar Jackson is a fantastic athlete. He can throw just well enough to be a quarterback. He needs to improve that. Mm-hmm. But he's still incredible. Incredible. I would want him as my quarterback. Just, he's going to be really inaccurate a lot.
Yeah.
All right, I am clicking crunch here. Let's just set a team stack. We'll run some crunches on screen. Let everybody scope out what's popping up here. 4 threes just for FanDuel today. Only playing 20 in the beanball. I'd like to get one more beanball this last week. Been a while since I've had a beanball victory.
I maxed the $9.99 rally.
You're going the other direction than me. You're playing more volume in the final week of the regular season, and I can't get away from it fast enough.
Oh my God.
Hey, the NBA season is fast upon us. I cannot wait. Ooh, this is not moving quickly either, so glad I'm crunching this now. Who's tagging me in? Let's see.
Don't sleep on the Giants 5 run implied total, okay?
Let's see if I'm getting any Giants in this crunch.
I hope some Giants came up in that crunch.
Let's see. I only have 40 lineups so far. 1 Giants 4-man, 1 Giants 3-man. So they are showing up. A lot of Cleveland, a lot of Boston. A lot of no surprises there. Hard to not get those teams,
Yeah.
Let's see if we got any questions coming in. Let's see. No, just more Lamar Jackson talk. That's going well. We're getting trolled by the lack of a Houston lineup, that's for sure. I don't disagree there. What else have we got?
I think the lineup just came out.
Really?
Yeah, I just got an alert saying Maldonado's starting.
Really? I don't even know if you're serious right now.
No, I really am. Hold on. Oh, never mind. That was Max Muncy.
Okay, that's fine. The alliteration is there. It's an MM guy.
Hey, I saw MM. What can I say?
Right, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think you could be mad there. Still not getting much in the Giants. Well, I'm up to 3 4-mans for the Giants. That's not bad out of 140, if I'm being honest. It's not like they should be showing up as the top stack either. I might have to play one of those Giants 3-mans just because.
Someone said any love for the Yankees in YouTube chat. I mean, we talked about it. McKay struggles against righties, specifically at home too. So a lot of right-handed power in this lineup. Not a bad idea.
No, not at all. Honestly, the problem with the Yankees is basically just their price. We have a lot of teams that are relatively cheap across the industry, and the Yankees really aren't all that cheap. So they're more of an anti-optimizer play, but I mean, the ceiling is there. They have as much power as any team in the league, really. So I don't have any issue with getting to the Yankees. 152.99, close enough. Call it 120. All right, let's let this crunch run. I know what's going to happen here. I'm going to load my lineups. I'm going to run this crunch, and I'm going to end up with 10 of 20 lineups with the Astros, and they're going to take out 4 of their main hitters. I can just see it coming now. Oh, all right. Let's see. What else do we have coming in here? Okay. For this Giants play, do you like a 5-man full stack, or would you go for a 4 or a 3?
Yeah, 5 for DK, for a FanDuel.
Okay. Yankees 3, 4, 5, 6 on FanDuel in a single entry. Not priced terrible. We're looking at Torres, Stanton, Urshela, Didi. I mean, that's still 4 guys, 3K or higher. That's a really tough fit with where pitching is. You're almost definitely going to need Syndergaard in that spot.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be pretty thin the rest of the way. They're just really expensive. They're kind of cost prohibitive.
So is Chirinos, what is he going to do? He's going to throw 2 innings, 3 innings?
2 probably, I'm guessing.
That's the game plan. And then McKay's going to come in and long relieve?
Yep.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Still no sign of the stupid lineup.
Dude, this person said, Giants just like Lamar Jackson. They ain't ready for that 5 run implied total. They're going to bust. Oh, man.
It's kind of interesting that we're on both sides of that take.
I love it. I love it.
I'm so anxious to watch the Giants box score tonight.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, it's great that it's, early here on the West Coast because I am sitting down with a glass of wine and I'm watching that game heavily.
Ooh, Jake is in with his dong pick. I might have to join you on the opposite coast and sit down and watch some Giants tonight.
Matt Chapman.
The wife is out of town, so I'll just be up tonight. So I might actually watch a little bit of this. Yeah, so Jake has got the dong pick in. Matt Chapman comes in under the wire here. And he's already updated the sheet. No sign of Spags. Don't think we're going to get that one unless he sneaks his way in here in the next 22 minutes. But YouTube chat, feel free to drop some questions in. We've got a ton of time. Premium Slack, feel free to drop some questions in as well. We can hit on basically anything you want. In my crunch right now, I'm up to 130 lineups and counting. 44% of them Boston Red Sox stacks, 24% Cleveland, 19% Atlanta. I might have to put in a little stack cap there because I'm getting a little bit more Boston than I would really need.
Yeah, that's a lot of Boston, man.
Yeah, we're going to drop those down. Get a little bit more differentiation in here. E-Rush, you aren't going to watch San Francisco, Josh. I'll still be awake. I'll be awake for sure. I'll have it on the TV next to me. Best low-owned stacks tonight. That's a good question. Let's take a look at the top stacks tool and we'll see what's popping up here. Mark Smith, what site? Give me a site, we'll check it out.
I mean, you got to go Houston. I mean, they're second projected top stack, and they're one of the lowest owned stacks out there.
Boston on DraftKings right now, massively higher top stack percentage, similar ownership. I mean, there's a lot at the top that's just not getting owned.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody gonna? Mark, you gonna get that? Oh, you're probably just on the delay. Okay, DK.
Chicago Cubs are a little sneaky tonight, man.
Yeah, no ownership whatsoever. They're twice as high on their top stack percentage. That is a really nice spot. But yeah, Boston over their ownership share, Houston over the ownership share, Indians over. Who's going really over-owned here? Okay, Blue Jays are very over-owned.
Someone asked if this is a Messi or a Suarez.
You have an answer?
I mean, I wanted to see if you can guess.
I hope it's Suarez.
Nah, it's Messi.
Okay. I'm a Suarez guy. I have a Suarez jersey that I can put on.
Well, I mean, this is my my ethnic background. My family's from Argentina.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I gotta stand up for the Argentinians out there.
Yeah, I've got the Suarez Liverpool kit.
Oh, nice.
Pour one out. Miss that dude. As long as he just stops biting people, he'll be fine. Went through a stretch. Look, we all have our stretches where we can't stop biting people in public forums. His just having to be a problem, you know? What are you going to do? Chester
Bryant said, hey, guys, what do you think about the Giants and A's stack? I'm loving Chester. Welcome to the chat, Chester.
Yeah, Chester, I think that Chris is slightly on a Giants A's stack at this point. Just a hair. And still no Astros lineup because, you know, obviously there's no need to do that at any sort of reasonable time.
I think the best way to look at this is, you know, for everyone who's going to be rolling with Hoffman, I mean, this is a win-win tonight because if everyone goes against me in chat and they have Hoffman and he pitches a gem, I mean, they're golden.
It's true.
So, and then, obviously if he doesn't, I'm golden. So, it's the best of both worlds here tonight for the Osmo chat.
Jeremiah Johnson, any word on what the Dodgers will do after Hill tonight? It's just going to be a mishmash of their bullpen arms, right?
Well, Stripling is supposed to pitch. So I'm actually going to the game tomorrow. Stripling has me going to the game.
Nice.
Yeah, man. He became good friends with me all because of Osmo.
That's awesome.
Crazy. But he's supposed to be pitching tomorrow because I told him to get me tickets for the game that he's pitching. But I'm very confused because right now they have him as a long reliever coming in on DraftKings, which is confusing me. I don't know. But supposed to pitch tomorrow. He's supposed to start tomorrow. So I don't know what they're going to do today. I really don't. I haven't heard from him.
Okay. I'm getting less Giants now that I've set stat caps. I might have to force in at least one Giants lineup just when this crunch is finished. I might have to just drop in an extra one here.
Just do the $1,000 one. And then that way you have to stay up. I mean, you're just going to go nuts.
I'd rather just wake up and hope it won.
Yeah, that's true too. I guess we could do that.
There's nothing I really don't enjoy sweating DFS. I'm the exact opposite of most people. It stresses me out to no end. I don't feel like when I watch anything good ever happens. Always. Anytime that I've had to tune into a baseball game this season to see, if I know somebody is up and I am near the top of a contest, if I put that game on, that dude is going to strike out or ground into a double play like clockwork. I don't think I've seen a guy that I've rostered hit a home run all season.
Did you hear about last Friday, my sweat?
No, what'd you have?
So I had the Athletics and the Rockies, the Athletics and the White Sox, and the White Sox were in Seattle.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm in third place, second place, third place in every tournament. All the big ones, the 999, the 4. I have 4 White Sox batters with 4 innings left. All I need to get first place is 1 point. That's all I need. I got Ryan Cordell. I got Jan Mokata. I got what's the Dick Face guy or Dickman?
I don't even know who you mean. Dick Face?
There's a guy, Dickman, on the White Sox. It's something with Dick, okay? And then Adam Engel. 4 innings left, and they're all up with 2 at-bats each. They don't get nothing.
Who the hell are you talking about? Now I need to figure it out.
Yeah, type in Dickman.
I think I might need to just go to the White Sox just in case.
Is it? Yeah.
I have no idea who you mean. I can't even figure it out still. Chat, help me out here. Not Jack Parkman.
There's a guy, Dickman, on there. Oh, Danny Mendick.
Okay. Oh, YouTube chat's gonna have a field day with this one.
Oh man, so dude, I had the nuts, the absolute nuts. Nothing, no one had anyone, and you couldn't even get a hit by pitch, a walk, a single, anything. I mean, I still took second, third, or whatever, but it was brutal, absolutely brutal.
It's a shame that Mandick didn't have the nuts.
I know, that's what I'm saying, man.
Cantor 33 doing an incognito mode. Yeah, I can't search for that. I can't search for that without being in a private browser tab. Oh boy, fantastic.
Man.
YouTube chat is dying right now. And so many of the messages are getting caught in the spam filter because every other one has dick in it.
Oh man, what a way to go out! What a way to go out with this show.
Oh man, we are putting the ultimate cherry on top of the final Tuesday live before lock show for the two of us.
Oh man,
yeah, YouTube chat is officially off the rails, and it's only 6:52. We have 13 more minutes to go. We might drive this one
Gotta love it.
Oh God, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And yet, still no Astros lineup. Here, okay. Let's play a little game of. Do we think they're going to be sitting a bunch of starters? I think we're going to lose 2 guys from their projected lineup that are legitimate.
Okay.
If they're waiting this long, I have a sneaky suspicion that we are seeing a lineup of like dramatically different people.
Really?
Which is aggravating to say the least.
Mm.
And oh God, as long as who do I get the most of? I guess that's really the biggest issue. Those are the guys that I don't want to lose out on here.
Yeah, who are you thinking?
Oh, I didn't get much Houston anyway, so I guess I don't care.
I got some Houston. I got like Houston one-offs and sprinkled, so it won't hurt me drastically if I need to switch. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, Bo Jones. I bet they sit Springer and Bregman. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. I think they're gonna put 2 or 3 of these guys on ice tonight. I'm positive that Brett just put this tweet into YouTube chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this again today. Doing a little bit of a giveaway. If you're looking to win a free copy of FIFA 20, we have a tweet at Awesemo_com. That is our Twitter handle. Go check that out. Retweet that tweet, like it, and reply with the team that you are most excited to play with for this edition of FIFA. And as long as you are following the account and you do those things and you get all the responses in by 12 a.m. Eastern on for tomorrow, we're going to choose a winner, and someone's just going to win a free copy of FIFA. And then you can hop online and, you can destroy me, because so far I'm terrible. I am really bad. The game is hard and it stinks. I want to go back to FIFA 19 where I'm good.
Is it that hard?
Yeah. So FIFA 19, I just felt like it was like arcade mode. You know, it was ping, 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 ball bounced around all over the place. Now you really have to build up play. You know, you have to rotate the ball back through, passing back and forth. It plays a lot more like a real soccer game, which I've enjoyed so far. I'd say like in another month or so, once they get like all the ball bouncy animations and stuff ready, that it's really going to be good. But yeah, go check out the tweet that we have at Awesemo_com is the Twitter handle. You can win a free copy of of FIFA 20. I don't know. Ty in YouTube chat says, "Can we play PES instead?" Look, Pro Evolution Soccer is also a fantastic game, but no. I mean, you can play it, but you're not going to win that. Yeah, not doing FIFA. Now Juventus is Piemonte Calcio. What a joke. Yeah, they don't have the naming rights any longer. They put a better team on the front of the box, so I mean Liverpool, not Hazard. Anybody have any questions to drop in? We are getting closer and closer to lock. I just imported my FanDuel lineups into my spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and see what's popping up here. I need 20 lineups. If I have 20 lineups right now, my top stack is the Cleveland Indians. 44%, 14 Cleveland Indians stack. Now I'm going to walk that back just a little bit. Doesn't seem necessary to get that much Cleveland, but that is where I'm at right now. Did not get to any Houston, unfortunately. See how much do I have to boost them to get to them? An infinite amount. Not even possible. Good to know.
Chat's talking about, I guess, Big Brother. Do you watch that?
I do not watch that. Should I?
I mean, I haven't. I used to watch it. It used to be a great show. I mean, so I don't mind it. Just haven't really scheduled my my time for Big Brother, but they're asking about it. I don't know too much about the show right now.
Okay. I would get your take on reality TV, but I assume you try to stay in the network family for your public answers.
Yeah. You know, try to not do ABC wrong in any way.
Sure, that'd be like asking about DFS touts and naming a bunch of people at Roto Grinders or something.
Oh my God, they hear me talk about CBS. I might not be here tomorrow.
Yeah, you just got to let everybody know that there are no other shows.
Exactly.
Spags in with the pick at 6:57, coming in with 8 minutes to go. Mark Canha, the Oakland A's.
Wow, what a pick!
I like my ownership. I just need to get a little bit less Indians, and I'm going to be good to go. And so far, not that easy to do.
Someone asked if we've ever watched Murder in Small Town. Never seen it. Never even heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it. Sounds fun, I guess. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds interesting. I mean, it doesn't really sound like a reality show for a murder in a small town.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I don't even have a guess as to what that could entail. Wow, I didn't get a lot of Braves. That's interesting.
You didn't?
No. It's essentially just all Indians and Red Sox. I'm going to bump up Oakland a little bit. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of bump to Oakland, and now I have a nice flat exposure of Indians, Red Sox, and A's. That'll work. Yeah, now we're talking. Yep, going with that. Whatever's coming out there is my 20. Calling it a day. A lot of Noah Syndergaard, that's for sure. He's in... Oh, God, I think I have like 80% Syndergaard on FanDuel.
Did you get any more Giants?
No, I don't have I don't have any Giants. Actually, that's not true. I have one-off Giant. Who is it? I hope it's Longoria for you. I have 1 share of Buster Posey. And I have 80% Noah Syndergaard. No way that goes wrong.
You got 80%?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in 16 of my 20 beanball lineups. I have Scherzer in the others. So, running 2 pitchers tonight. Go ahead and get these dummy lineups in now. Oh, that show was like early 2000s. Yeah, I did not see that. Not a lot of reality TV in my life back in that time. It was like the first season of Survivor, American Idol, Joe Millionaire. All the good ones.
Oh my God, Joe Millionaire?
Yeah.
What is that? Never even heard of it.
Yeah, you don't remember Joe Millionaire?
Nah.
So Joe Millionaire was the standard show of House of Women male lead. And they portrayed him as like an everyman, construction worker or something along those lines. But the twist at the end found out that he was actually like a multimillionaire.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't want to give away the information that he had bank change anything up. So they wanted to get the real connection. But this was,
yeah,
there were no shows, but like this was very, very early in the game. So it was an interesting hook. But yeah, he ended up being, I forget what he did, but he was some sort of millionaire. But they portrayed him as like a hands-on guy. This was probably, oh God, when was Joe Millionaire? I would have 2003, 2004. The fact that I even remember it is incredible. 2003, first episode, January 6, 2003. They said he was a construction worker raised in humble surroundings with limited financial security. They found out that he was a millionaire in the end.
Alex said, Josh, you got it completely in reverse. They said he was a millionaire and he was really the construction worker.
No, that's not. That's not at all how it was. Why would they do that? That's how they would do it now. Wait, now everybody's saying it's the other way around? No.
He was poor and they made him look like a millionaire.
Oh, really? I thought it was the opposite.
Why is that the show Joe Schmo?
Wait, do I really do have this backwards? I thought he was really a millionaire and they portrayed him as not a millionaire. That's the way they should do that show. It should be the other way around. You should You should be the everyman on the show. And surprise, I'm actually worth a boatload of money. The other way is awful. All you're breeding is terrible people for that.
Love it.
Huh. Yeah, well, what do I know, guys? Look, I knew that Joe Millionaire was a show. That's the best I could do. Just because I don't remember the premise from 16 years ago. I was 18.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I was making a lot of bad decisions at 18. 2 minutes to go before lock, everybody. Get your stuff in. Josh describing the plot of Undercover Boss.
Oh, this is great. Josh falling apart.
Guys, why are we acting like I claim? Well, I mean, obviously I was saying some of that with some incredible confidence. I love that Alex flew in like, oh, no, that's not how it was.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Super familiar with the Joe Millionaire script.
Alex is like I think a TV show like junkie buff.
The Shane Baker's dozen never made it.
So he knows his shows, so we can't discredit him on that.
Earl Found just nailed it here. Flavor of Love was insane.
Oh my God, yeah. Flavor of Love was my jam. And then the Bret Hart one?
I was a big For the Love of Ray J guy.
For the Love of Ray J?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like real high on the unintentional comedy scale.
The Ray J one wasn't bad.
Season 1, the first season was good. It kind of went off the rails after that, but season 1 was good. Just because the way that he was naming people was incredible. You like that wine? I'm gonna call you Chardonnay. Way to put a lot into this, man.
Oh man.
30 seconds to go, guys. Get your lineups in. Hope you have your Giants now. Now we're dropping in. Josh probably thinks Kelly Clarkson won Survivor.
Did she really?
No, first season of American Idol. But I'm getting all my shows confused. First season of Survivor winner was Richard Hatch. That I do remember.
Ooh.
I shouldn't know that. There's no reason I should know that. I just remember his name, and then I don't remember the name of the lady that had that really good speech at the end that called him a rat or a snake or whatever, but flipped the script. We are locked. We made it, man. We made it.
Wow. Dude, what a show.
And we made it with no Giants lineup. Or not Giants. Dude, I'm dead, man. I got nothing left. My brain's not working. No Astros lineup. Go Giants, though.
Oh, man. Just tried updating one of my final guys, and it didn't let me. So I'm stuck now with a certain amount of shares of someone. So, Michael Conforto, good luck.
Is he in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to swap out real quick some Conforto shares. It ended up going through, so it worked out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, against Alcantara in New York, I don't hate it.
Yeah. Oh, I got some Mets, by the way. If you want to talk about orange teams, I stayed in true with the colors tonight because I got the Giants and the Mets.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, Timothy Feature. Enjoy tonight. I'm about to eat some Jamaican food. Sign me up there, man. Give me some goat.
Oh, man, have you ever had a beef patty?
Yes, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
We did our honeymoon in Jamaica, so we did like 10 or 11 days or something like that. Phenomenal food. Whew.
We forgot to say Mendick is not in the lineup tonight, guys. So
no Mendick.
No Mendick.
No Mendick. No dick face. I hope that he can make a career like long term because that dude's getting called dick face every time I do a show now moving forward. My dog dive bombing me right now.
I think I was calling him every name in the book that had to do with that night because I'm like, come on, man.
You're like dick face, dick nose. I was like, none of these people are real people.
God, man, let me tell you.
Alrighty, guys. Best of luck tonight. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. This is the final Tuesday MLB Live before lock, but NBA will be here soon. Shout out to Fantasydraft. Thank you for being the presenting sponsor here. Go to fantasydraft.com, use the promo code AWESOMO, and get up to $1,000 in rake-free entries. They're running the Hooters 700K guaranteed contest this NFL Sunday. I will see you guys in it. Chris, anything else? Anything you need to plug?
Nah, man, that's it. Go Giants. That's all I got to say.
There you go. Go Giants, everybody. Best of luck tonight. We will talk to you again later.